So I'm going to be doing a bit of a different video today. It's not going to be one of my hands-on kind of videos. Basically, I've had a few people ask if I'd ever do a question and answer video, and I have been a bit reluctant to do it just because I'm not as confident putting my face out there on a camera as I am doing my hands-on kind of videos, but I thought I'd bite the bullet and do it because it is a nice way to kind of connect with you guys. So it is going to be primarily around like arty crafty, smashbooking, pen paling, filofaxing, all the things that I love and that I share with you on this channel anyway. It's going to be kind of based around those, but there is obviously a few personal get to know me kind of questions in there. I went on Instagram and put up a post and you guys left me some questions to answer. I'm just going to go through them and I will probably mess up some usernames and I'm really sorry about that, but I will do my best. So the first question I got is from Pen Pals Forever, and they asked when I'm going to be looking for new pen pals. I'm actually quite content with the number of pen pals I've got at the moment. It kind of fits with my lifestyle. I don't have too many to reply to at once. I did get quite behind with my replies, but yeah, I'm finally kind of getting back in the rhythm of things. I do get quite a few requests for being pen pals and I feel really bad saying no, but I know that if I did take more pen pals on, I wouldn't be able to reply as often as I'd like to. So yeah, the answer to that is probably not anytime soon. The next question is from Alex.d. I think that's right. Sorry if it's not. But they asked, when did you start collecting washi tape? I started collecting washi tape about 2013, I think, and since then it's kind of snowballed and I now have probably too many. The _cat_woman asked, did you do any sort of art school? No, not like specifically. At school for GCSE I did art and photography, and in college I did photography. That's the only sort of, I suppose, art kind of lessons that I've done. Pip Cupcake Pepper asked, where is your favourite place to buy all of your washi tape, stickers and other crafty things? I kind of get them from all over the place. Paper Chase is my go-to just because that's kind of my most local shop. But yeah, the main shops that I get my stuff from is Paper Chase, Hobbycraft, The Range and probably eBay. Sailor C Wissy, I think I said that right, says, were you always into crafting? You are amazing. Thank you. I have always kind of been creative. My mum has been crafting since as long as I can remember, so I suppose growing up with a kind of crafting human being around me all the time, it kind of rubbed off on me. Charlotte M1LY, I am so making a mess of these usernames, said, what's your favourite thing about Smashbooking? PS, big fan of yours, you are awesome. Thank you. My favourite thing about Smashbooking, I can do it with anything. Like, I keep my scrapbooks to documenting parts of my life, whereas my Smashbook's kind of more art in the way that it's a bit more random. There isn't really anything that means a lot to me on the pages, it's just kind of stuff I've come across and collected. Yeah, so it's just like the freedom I have with it, I suppose. Pastel Charms TV asked, out of all the planners / filofaxes you own, which is your favourite and why? I think at the moment it's probably my Grey Finsbury, but that's mainly because of like the colour theme that I've got going on inside it. Like it all just kind of goes, and I like everything kind of going together. Julian 1984 said, not really a question, but a tour of your craft room and maybe where you bought the furniture and organisers, etc. I am planning on doing a video because a lot of you know that I got my new desk and everything, because I did post about it on like Twitter and Instagram and stuff, but I've just not got round to like, because I'm obviously using it every day, it's always messy, and I know that if I have everything organised on it, it'll be easier and quicker to kind of get around it and show you where things are from and stuff like that. So I do still really want to do that video, and I am planning on doing it. Just gotta get things tidied. Josephine Paulison. I'm so bad at usernames, this is awful. Have you counted your washi tape? How many do you have? That's really bad. That's really bad, isn't it? So there was 313 rolls of tape in my washi tape drawer. That is my full collection. It could seem excessive to some people. I do enjoy having a wide range to choose from when I'm doing projects. So yeah, I mean, some of those rolls are almost finished, some are obviously brand new. It's, you know, there's always going to be ones going out and new ones coming in, so it doesn't bother me that I have 300 plus rolls in there. India Westy asked, what are the best online places to buy scrap / smashbooking stuff and stationery? For stationery, I would say Paper Chase and also Hemmer. For scrapbooking and smashbooking stuff, I would say Hey Little Magpie, which if you're from the UK then they tend to have the like American crafts things, like all the Amy Tangerine and Heidi Swap and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully that will help. If you're not from the UK then I don't have any knowledge from a non-UK perspective so I'm sorry about that, but if you are from the UK then definitely check out those shops. 13 Summer Swifties asked 2 questions. She asked what inspired you to start YouTube and what inspired you to start smashbooking / scrapbooking. I've actually had this channel for a long time, like since 2010 or something. I started off using this channel for kind of, I suppose, home videos, like videos of my dog that I wanted to share with my family and like when we first got her and stuff and when she was a puppy, and just like random things like that. But since I started doing all my crafting stuff and I wanted to do videos about the crafting stuff, I'd watched a few people's videos on like smashbooking and scrapbooking and stuff like that, and I thought I might as well just set up a camera because I'm going to be doing the smashbooking and stuff anyway, so I might as well record it and see what the outcome is, I suppose. Scrapbooking and smashbooking, because I had done some sort of scrapbooking in the past, but I never really like got into it, and then I found smashbooking and thought maybe that's more my thing. I'm not quite sure where I like first came across the smashbook. I'm pretty sure I was looking at something on Amazon and it kind of popped up in the other people bought, and then I basically googled it and tried to find out what like the difference was between a scrapbook and a smashbook, and I watched a few YouTube videos and stuff like that, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna give it a go, and I did, and I loved it. Scrapbooking for me is kind of a more recent thing that I've started. Once I felt like I was kind of fully into my smashbooking, I thought that I may as well give scrapbooking another go, because obviously I tried it when I was younger and I just kind of hadn't got into it. Because I kind of knew how to use my smashbook now, I felt like scrapbooking became a little bit more easier because I just had to make things neater and write a bit more, and I mean that's how I scrapbook anyway. It's kind of similar to my smashbooking style, but the things that I scrapbook mean something to me, like, you know, the memories or photos and stuff like that. Okay, I'm pretty sure that I am going to absolutely mess up this name completely. I don't know if I even want to attempt it. Urgendinuma? I am so sorry. They asked, where do you get your ideas from? This is kind of a tricky question because I don't really know. They just kind of pop into my head, like whether it's something I've seen. I suppose I'm kind of inspired by everything that's around me. I think I've naturally been that way for a long time. I just kind of pick up on things and stuff. Ooh, here comes the sun. Wow, talk about overexposed. The thing is, I'll turn my exposure down and then the sun will disappear and I'll look like I'm sitting in a cave. Oh, it's going. No, I'm turning the exposure down, so I'm really sorry that the lighting is going up and down in this, but Airless _ says, who are your fave craft YouTubers? At the moment, I have been watching Mrs. Brimbles a lot, and then also she's called super.taylor on Instagram and her YouTube is Taylor Calvio. I'm assuming that's her second name, and I'm so awful with names. Like, I'll leave all the YouTube's link below. So she does a lot of smashbooking and Project Life and stuff like that, and I really enjoy her videos. Who else? I'm trying to think who I watch now. There is someone else I watch. Florence, that is, I knew there was someone. I completely forgot what her YouTube was. She's Live Life and Create on Instagram, and I've followed her on Instagram for ages now. and I never realised she had a YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is Florence Antoinette, I think I pronounced that right. She just has some amazing like crafty projects that she does. Again, I'll leave it linked below. Raspberry Blood says, why do you often wear band-aids on your thumb? Quite a few people have actually picked up on this now, and there is a couple of reasons. I'm not wearing them today because I'm not doing like a close-up hand video. Basically, a lot of you know that I suffer with anxiety, and one of my anxious habits is actually to pull at the skin around my fingertips and mainly my thumbs. Sounds gross, it is kind of gross. I know that I'm not alone with that. It's quite a common anxious habit actually, much like biting nails. I did used to bite my nails and I managed to stop that. Because it's an anxious habit, it almost had to be replaced with something else, and then I started kind of pulling at the skin around my fingers. Yeah, so the main reason I suppose that I wear plasters is because obviously my hands-on kind of videos are pretty close up to my hands. I just didn't feel the need to have that showing. I know some people can be grossed out by that sort of thing. It's not something I can help, it's something, obviously a habit is something you do kind of subconsciously. They also, especially my thumbs, get quite sore, so when I'm crafting and doing all that sort of thing, wearing plasters tends to just help with, it's almost like putting a little pillow around it. They're just less likely to get damaged even more. I mean, you can see from here that my thumbs are kind of, they're red because they're sore. But yeah, they will heal, obviously, if I manage to stop. I'm trying to find ways, like finding something else to kind of fiddle with. It's just something that I'm dealing with, and that's how I'm dealing with it with my videos and stuff. Rose Varnum says, what are your favourite pens to use? Okay, I'm one of those people which kind of jumps about with pens. I've never been a fan of my handwriting. I find that I write differently with different pens, like depending on the barrel size, the ink type, whether it's a biro or, you know. At the moment my favourite pens are the Colettos, which is obviously an inkier pen, so I've been using that one, or I've been using one of the paper chase ones. At the moment the Swallow one is one of my all-time favourites, and that's more of a biro. They are like complete opposites in the pen world. Like, this is a really thin barrel and this is quite a chubby barrel. This is ink, this is biro, but for some reason these are the two that I will go to if I'm filling in stuff. But yeah, those are my two favourite pens at the moment. XX Reese Reynolds XX said, what is your favourite style of Smashbook and why? PS, I'm a big fan of yours and I love your Smashbooking videos. Thank you. I actually really liked the orange one that I had, like the first one, which I'm pretty sure was a simple style one. And then I've just started in a nostalgia one and I'm actually really liking that as well. If I was to choose between the two, I think I would choose a simple style just because it's more me. The nostalgia one is really nice, but it's like really vintage and I like a bit of colour. Take Me to Another World _ asked, why do you use a Filofax rather than a basic diary and other notebooks, and what do you like so much about Filofaxes? I think I like the fact that I can kind of chop and change. I do get bored easily, like from using the same thing over and over and over, and as much as I love this one at the moment, and I love the inserts and I love the dividers that I've made for it and the colours and stuff, I know that I will eventually get bored and want to move into something else, which is why I have like a little collection of Filofaxes going on. So yeah, I think like a lot of people who have Filofaxes, it's the flexibility and being able to completely customise it to how I want it. Georgia Y, I think that's how it's pronounced, sorry if it's not, she asked, what do you do for a job / are you studying? I am self-employed full-time. I went to school until I was 16 and then I did 2 years of college until I was 18, and then I had like less than a year where I was kind of job searching, and then I became self-employed. I own a little jewellery shop, that's like my main job, and I've been doing that for almost 2 years now. Forever _young _ 6789 said, where did the name MyGreenCow come from? I know that you're probably like expecting there to be like a really exciting, you know, I came across a green cow story behind it, but I live on a farm, so like cows are relevant in that sense. This YouTube channel was actually the first place I used MyGreenCow as like a username for something. And I suppose I was just trying to think of something which was different, but I also wanted it to like look nice as a word, like as one word, and that's what appealed to me, and that's why I chose it, I suppose. When I actually started Instagram, I bought a plastic cow and I painted it green. So I actually had a green cow, so this is my green cow. Isabel X100 said, out of all your crafting, Smashbook, Filofax, scrapbooking, etc., what is your favourite? I kind of jump between them all. In a sense, they are all my favourites. Sometimes I really want to write a letter, sometimes I really want to decorate my pages in my Filofax, sometimes I want to sit down and just Smashbook, and sometimes I want to like document my life in my scrapbooks and stuff. So I suppose it kind of changes like every day. Yeah, I think my favourite is just crafting in general and like being creative in general. That's my favourite, and then these are just the tools to help me achieve that. I'm going to completely mess this up as well, but Mister, sorry again that I can pronounce that properly. When did you start Smashbooking? It's in my Smashbook. Like, the date I started Smashbooking, I wrote it in the start of my Smashbook. Okay, so I started Smashbooking on the 23rd of January 2013. So I did explain this in my Smashbooking flip through. Basically, when I got the Smashbook, I started it on that date and I did it for a few weeks or something, and then I just stopped. I didn't get like back into it until summer 2014. Millie Armitage says, who got you into liking stationery? I've always loved stationery. I've always had too much stationery. I was a person at school who had way more pens than they needed. I've always loved stationery, always. Molly__XOX says, what's your favourite piece of stationery and why? Washi tape, all the way. I use it for everything. I think that's probably why it's my favourite, is it's so versatile. Like, I can just use it like all the time as much as I want on all of my different projects and stuff that I'm doing. Elise_Tamsin says, what type of stuff would you recommend collecting for Smashbooking? I collect everything, like labels, bags, little things that people have sent me, like Christmas and birthdays. I keep wrapping paper and stuff. I basically keep anything that is small enough to fit in a Smashbook. I keep it all in a box under my desk. _girl__online_ asked 2 questions. She asked, when did you start Smashbooking and what is your favourite video to film? Kind of covered the first question. My favourite video to film, I think probably the Smashbooking ones are the most enjoyable, and like the ones where I get to be creative. I mean, I love filming hauls and stuff. I mean, I enjoy filming them all. It's the editing process that can get a bit tedious sometimes. Jessie Siggers asked, what do you like and dislike about living on a farm, and what are your hopes and dreams for the future? The farm I live on is family owned. My dad's a farmer and he lived in this house that we live in with my grandparents and his brothers and sisters when he was younger, and like, I've grown up on the farm. We never lived on the farm when I was younger. We've only lived here for about 5 years now, I think. My childhood kind of included coming to work with my dad and like going down the lake and looking after the animals. Yeah, we just kind of would have days out at the farm basically. And obviously when my grandparents were still alive and living here, we would come and visit them as well. Moving here, when we moved here, my grandparents passed away and the house got done up, and then we moved in. And I was living here from when did I move in? How old was I? I think I was 15, must have been. I think I was 15 when we moved in. So the worst bit was probably not being able to be as social. I don't drive and I don't plan to drive anytime soon. My anxiety is not under control enough for that yet. So yeah, the seclusion is probably the thing I don't like as much. The things I like about it would be the space. I also get to see my dad a lot more living here. I suppose a farmer's working day is very early to very late, so we wouldn't get to see him much at all when we were younger unless we went with him at the weekends. Now we're living here, he comes in for lunch, he will pop in, you know, pop his head in and stuff. My hopes and dreams for the future, I think my main goal for the future would be for me and my boyfriend to buy a house. It seems really boring and kind of simple, but basically just having somewhere that we can call our own. Yeah, it's just a really comforting thought to have that place. Yeah, that's kind of like my main goal. It's boring, I'm sorry. Underscore Alyssa underscore Hope underscore asked, what is your career/career plan? P.S. I love your videos and art. Thank you. My career plan is probably just to stay self-employed. I love working for myself. It can get really stressful and things can get on top of you really quickly, but in comparison to working for someone else and having to go to work every morning, and so yeah, I'd say that my career plan would just be to carry on doing what I'm doing, I suppose. Affectionately underscore yours asked, could you talk a little about your brain dump process? My brain dump, I'm going to take it out of the thing because it's easier to show you then. So I keep my brain dump in a faux dory with a few other inserts. This is what it looks like. It's just a lined insert. I'm not going to show you like what's inside because it's pretty personal. I tend to add this in the evenings. A lot of the time with my anxiety I go to bed with a brain full of worries. I use this to empty my head. Anything and everything that I'm thinking of, whether it's important, whether it's not, whether it's stupid, or whether it's something that really I should think about, you know, I will just add it in here. Every time I add something to it, I add a sticker on the front. I mean, stickers are just awesome as it is. More than anything, I think the stickers are kind of an encouragement thing. I do find it hard to sit down and just write because my head is full and fuzzy of everything. I don't, like, once I'm sitting down and I'm writing, I'm like, oh, I could be doing something better, you know, my head's gone. It's gone from what I'm focusing on. So yeah, the sticker side of it somehow bribes my creative mind to sit down and write. So basically what it does is it makes me stop, think about something that's going on in my head, write it down. Once it's down on paper, I can forget about it because it's somewhere else. I don't need to remember it. Whether it's important, whether it's not important, it's somewhere else other than my head. So yeah, that is how I use my brain dump. I highly recommend it, especially if you are suffering from anxiety like me and you have that kind of fuzzy head of everything going on. So that was all the questions that I got. I hope it's given you a bit of an insight into my crafty life and my life in general, I suppose. If you aren't following me over on Instagram, I'll leave that link below because that's where I will ask for questions for future question and answer videos. If you had any questions about any of the things that I mentioned in this video, then leave them below and I will do my best to answer them. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you in my next video.